And we back. A couple days ago, the Indiana Pacers announced to the world that they are going towards a rebuild. Sabonis, Turner, LeVert could all be on different teams in the next couple days. Whenever I hear the word rebuild, I try to think to myself, how can I help this organization? Help them in 2K, of course. So we helped out the Trailblazers a couple days ago. Now it is time to get the Indiana Pacers their first NBA championship. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Let's get into it. All right, man. So you know what the roster looks like. We already mentioned Sabonis, LeVert, and Miles Turner were like the main people that were associated in this article by Shams. But I'm going to do a little bit more, man. I want to say this like we always do. Everything that we do in this video is not in the realm of realism. I'm going to try to do some things that are fun for the video, but you have to remember my end goal is to get the Pacers a championship. But this one is different than like the Blazers one, because the Blazers one was like we were pouring gas on the fire immediately. Let's go to the championship. But the Pacers are selling, which means that we had to hit reset and then eventually win a championship. So it might take a couple years. And if I'm hitting the reset button or the rebuild button, I'm thinking about young players to build around. And Sabonis at 25, Miles Turner at 25, and then Caris LeVert at 27 should be able to get us some decent young players. There are some people that are already on my short list of people that I would like, and I think it would be fun to see Sabonis on X team. So those are the type of trades I'm gonna pull off first. If I were just to normally trade finder Domantas Sabonis to see what we can get, here are the trades. They are not amazing. Not amazing for 86 overall Domantas Sabonis, which makes sense. Oh, the Spurs will give me their first round pick and just that he's young. See, Sabonis is making a small amount of money compared to like him being a two-time All-Star, so this is kind of clutch. You know, there are a couple teams out there like this one that I want to make a trade with, but I don't want Draymond. I want the former number 2 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking with. I'm thinking in the back of my head, but I'm going to make Sabonis a center. His overall goes up because if I'm trading with the Warriors, they're going to be like, nah, we don't want another power forward, but I can trick them so they can run Sabonis at the 5. So this is what I'm thinking. Wiseman. Man, Wiseman is super valuable. I mean, he's a former number 2 overall pick, so that makes sense. This trade probably won't happen. They got to make up $8 million. Give us back Kevon Looney. I mean, I should be trying to get Jonathan Kuminga, but I feel like he's so much more valuable. I mean, it's a half-star value, 2 overall difference, 14th overall pick versus 7th overall pick. I'm going to try Kuminga first, but he's got 3-star value. Okay. I will give you Brad Wanamaker because I'm guessing that their contract situation is going to be rough. I don't know what to do from here. I desperately want James Wiseman on the team. I want him to be my centerpiece for this rebuild and for him to be one of the main reasons we win a championship in 3 years, 4 years, or whatever. They're trying to give us Draymond Green. I don't want Draymond. Obviously, it takes away from what the Warriors is if I try to take Draymond. So I'll come back to the Wiseman trade because it doesn't like it's going to happen because contracts don't really work out. And 2K doesn't want me to be good at my job. I'm going to focus on some of the smaller trades first and then come back to Sabonis. I'm just immediately trade finding Miles Turner to see what his value looks like on the market. And there are some teams, obviously, that are interested. Him being only an 80 overall is kind of hurting a little bit. There are some teams, like this is a team that could use Miles Turner for sure, but I don't want to take on 29-year-old Tim Hardaway Jr. and just get a first back. I mean, we can make a potentially 3-team trade where I send Tim Hardaway Jr. somewhere else, but that don't make sense for us right now. Okay, so let me try to trade for Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton is a player that wants to get paid this offseason. And with the Cavs' success, they might not want to pay him the amount of money that he wants. I would be willing to pay Colin Sexton. And he's out for the season, by the way. He's out for the season. So, in this hypothetical trade, how do we make it happen? Would they rather have Torrey Craig or would they rather have Goga Badatsi? They already have a million 7-footers, so maybe they want the wing? I don't want to take Ricky Rubio away from them because then they literally have no backup point guard, and you kind of need ball handling. Is that really up to me to get them a secondary playmaker? They don't want to pay Colin Sexton this year. I'd be willing to do that. Deal. Okay. First trade is gone. We got a lot of value out of Caris LeVert. Realistically, in real life, Caris LeVert is not having a great season. So the fact that we turned him into 22-year-old Colin Sexton is kind of a W. And if I'm being honest, I probably should have threw them some seconds. And you know what? Because I'm a good guy, because I'm a stellar human being, I'll throw them some seconds. You know, we got a couple seconds on the team anyway. Look at that. I got the Jazz second. I got the Mavericks second. And only thing you got to give me back, Cleveland, is Ed Davis, and I'll give you back Brad Wanamaker. See, look at that. Look at that. They say no. Okay, I'll give you 3 seconds. Okay, I was trying to be a good Samaritan by giving you some picks for a dude that don't play for you. But if you don't want them, I'll just move on and stop trying to be nice to these other organizations and only focus on the Indiana Pacers. So now we have Colin Sexton, but I'm going to make him injured again because he shouldn't play the season because he is out for the year. Hey, this is hard, bro. Am I spending too much time on these 3 trades to start off with? I've been here for 40 minutes, low-key. I put off 1 trade that might have been a bad trade. I'm throwing Ricky Rubio to a 3rd team, by the way, eventually. But I put off 1 trade that might have been bad for everybody involved. And here I am, still with nothing. I just figured out a trade because I'm, again, such a nice guy to get Ricky Rubio back to the Cavs. I'll take on Kevin Love's contract for a season. But since I am being... So, okay, look, this is how I want you to think about this whole trade. We give them Karis LeVert right now to help them score, right? In exchange, they give us back the young piece in Colin Sexton, who we also have to pay. But we also relieve them in the salary department by taking on Kevin Love's $31 million. So you know what? give me a top 10 protected first, and we could call it a deal. They want to give me their 1st round pick this season. Sure. Oh my God, the realism department is gone. But look at their lineup. Okay, they gotta put Larry Marketing starting at the 3 and not Jeremy Lamb or Torrey Craig. But they got a ton of wings. Point guard position's back to looking good. Shooting guard position could use a little bit of help, I guess. But they got, like, listen, make Jeremy Lamb a backup shooting. Why am I focused on the Cavs so much? I'm trying to make it somewhat realistic by not making it completely realistic. But now look, I just gave you 2 players that can score and these 2 dudes. And you ain't got to pay him next season if you don't want to. Small forward position looks elite. Power forward looks decent because you got this guy. And then come on, bro. I just did y'all such a big favor. Y'all are a playoff team. Lock it in. And now we got K Love, who probably won't play the season and we'll trade next season or buy him out next season. I don't really know. Okay. Now back on trying to figure out the Domantas Sabonis trade and the Miles Turner trade, because those are 2 things that we're supposed to be focusing on and not the Cavaliers. All right, so I'm trying to pile up on my equity with my picks. We got a 2024 unprotected, a 2nd that we're swapping, and I'm getting back Malik Beasley, who I'll probably trade next season for another 1st round pick or something. But Miles Turner, he's going to play with the Timberwolves, and now Karl Anthony Towns can slide over, and they can worry about that. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the right trade. And there's some teams that I wanted to trade into, like the Hornets. They just didn't have the package. I wanted to try to pick up like PJ Washington or James Bouknight. Financially, just didn't make sense. And they wouldn't accept it because my Mason Plumlee's contract is so large. So we have 1 domino left. And that's this guy, the biggest one of them all. So far, we've turned Karis LeVert and Miles Turner to Colin Sexton and 3 1st round picks. Pretty solid if you ask me. Okay. I'm going to go out there and try to get Patrick Williams and Kobe White. 2 young players. You know, we already got picks with the first 2 trades. Let's go try to get like actual players now. Since Patrick Williams was the 4th overall pick, he's making $7 million. And then Kobe White is making $5 million. We throw them Sabonis. They still got to make up $3 million. So give us back Troy Brown Jr., who's making $5 million. Now we got to give them back a player. Do I dare? It's like I give them back Denzel Valentine. I wouldn't do that to you Bulls fans. You know what I just realized? I need to make Sabonis back to a power forward so the Bulls can be interested, because they already got Vucevic, right? So they looking at Vucevic, they like, we don't need another center because one of them guys would just be a backup. No, not anymore, because Domantas Sabonis is really like that. I want to try to like do a reverse trade finder real quick on those 2 players, or I guess 3 players. If I just did boom, boom, and then boom. Well, it just, nope, not Derrick Jones Jr. But if I would take Derrick Jones Jr. I would take Derrick Jones Jr., but I'd rather take Troy Brown. I mean, it seems like they're trying to give us all 4 anyway, and I would do this trade, give them back Denzel Valentine. Every Bulls fan in existence is mad at me in this exact moment because I'm giving them back Denzel Valentine. This kills the Bulls' depth 100%. 100%. That leaves them with the backup point guard of, I guess, Alex Caruso, backup shooting guard of Matt Thomas now. Javonte Green, who came into the league as a guard, is now a forward. So this would definitely kill the Bulls' depth 100%. That's not really much of my problem, though. But if you want to give me a first round pick, that Portland pick that we tried to get earlier, you got yourself a deal. Finally, after an hour, legitimately, I've been here for an hour trying to get rid of those 3 players. We did it. Our new starting lineup is Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Duarte. I'm going to start Malik Beasley because he's 25 and we traded for him. And we got to figure out if we want to keep him long term or not. I'm going to start O'Shea. We're going to put Patrick Williams back into his broken wrist thing. And we got 3 season-ending injuries to 3 players. And hopefully we can bottom out because we do have the right draft class in. I don't want you to judge my trades just yet, y'all. Do not judge my trades just yet. Just give it a couple seasons. We'll see what these players turn into. And then you can judge it. Now, what I'm about to do, was it his right wrist or his left wrist? I don't really know. But regardless, he's out for the season. What I'm about to do now is simulate to the trade deadline, right? And then once we get out of the trade deadline, we're going to trade TJ Warren, who's, last year of his deal. There's got to be a team out there that's buying. And yeah, we're going to do it that way. We're going to let O'Shea start. I guess K-Love can get some PT because how am I expecting to trade him next season if he ain't playing this year? So hopefully at the 13th seed, we can continue to bottom out and get a good high pick. All right, y'all. So we are at the deadline and we have been bad. We're not the worst team in the conference, though, which is not a good thing. Who's worse than us? Who the heck? It's Orlando. Okay. They won 4 in a row, though, so they might end up better than us by the end of it all. So TJ Warren is back from his injury. So is Patrick Williams, but he shouldn't be playing. Yeah, I'm going to re-injure Patrick Williams and Colin Sexton. They both should be done for the season. But we did see TJ Warren come back from his injury, so we're going to go ahead and throw him to a team. I want to see what teams are buying or selling. No, buying. Only buying teams is what we're worried about right now. The Mavericks need a scoring small forward. They could just use somebody that can score in general. So they want to give us back Dwight Powell 2-year deal. I'll be taking on excess contract. So I want something back in return, like an unprotected pick. They want to give me another first-round pick. This 2K trade system is so broken. I will accept it, but I'm going to give them back their second pick. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Why would they be like, we'll give you an extra pick if you throw in a second? It don't make sense, bro. It takes away the fun aspect of doing these rebuilds when it's just that easy to finesse a team. You know what I'm saying? Instead, give me a second from this the Heat second, and I'll give you back your first-round pick this season. Cool. So we turn TJ Warren into another first-round pick, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and make Colin Sexton back injured and Patrick Williams back injured, and then I'll be back in the offseason or, I guess, the playoffs. Jokic won MVP. Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year. Andre Drummond, 6th man. Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved. Great. Billy Donovan wins Coach of the Year. It's a Bulls fans' wet dream. You feel me? Will they win a championship? We shall see. They got multiple years to figure it out. Domantas Sabonis is on NBA third team, and Jared Allen is on NBA third team too. Same thing with DeJounte Murray. He's with there was Steph Curry and LeBron. That's a great third team. Bradley Beal ended up second team. All right, are we ready to see who wins the championship? We were the worst team in the conference, which is amazing. We tanked heavily. That's all we really care about. The team that's going to win the championship is the Chicago Bulls. Okay, Bulls fans, it's worth it. Trade Pat, trade everybody if this means the championship. We were talking about the lack of depth of this team. It did not matter long term. They go on to win a championship, and they sweep the Kings out of all teams. Huge offseason for us, obviously. This draft lottery is really, really big. We have 3 first-round picks potentially in the lottery. We have the highest odds to get the first pick, which naturally means we're going to have the 4th overall pick. Or the 2nd. I'm not mad at 2nd. We got 2nd, 8, and that's it. Because the pick that we had for the Blazers were lottery protected and it ended up number 7. So that's fine. I think that just means that we get it next year or the year after that or something. I don't understand it. But we got the 2nd overall pick this year, which is great. We have the draft class in, which is right. Chet Holmgren might be there at number 2. We're gonna end up with one of the best players in the draft. That's all that we really care about. And if it's Chet, if we can somehow finesse to have Chet number 2, he fits with what we're trying to do anyway. Because we have Colin Sexton as a guard. We have Kobe White. I don't know if he's a backup or start in this league. I don't really know. We got a lot of guard play, basically. So having a good center will be crucial because we were starting Gogo Badachi the second half of the season. And you saw how the second half of the season went. So I'm excited about potentially getting Chet. Do not allow him to go number 1. I will trade for him if they select him number 1. They didn't. They got him and Zion. All right, him, Zion, Brandon Ingram. They'll make it work. Here we go. Chet Holmgren is coming to Indianapolis. Indy fans, I know they got the worst attendance in the league, but right now it's changing. I did not do any scouting at all. Nikola Jovic is still here. I don't even know what should we just take Jaden Ivey because he's the only other player that I really know. Let him develop at 20 years old. Oh, this is tough because again, I don't know much about this year's draft just yet. And he is the guy that was projected to go 4th, and he's still here. So let's just play it safe. Go with the guy that he projected to go pretty high, and that failed a little bit. Colin Sexton is coming back to the team at a 4 years, little less than $100 million, which I think that's what he was asking for in real life. So, you know, I gave him what he wanted. And now that we have him back, you can see we have a surplus of shooting guards, especially when you count Jaden Ivey too. So we are going to trade one of them, and I think it's going to be Malik Beasley. 1+1 on this deal. If I'm not mistaken, it is a team option. So he's in team control for 2 seasons. Somebody be willing to give us something pretty decent for him. He didn't have a bad season at all. The Nuggets are trying to get slightly younger. Well, not slightly. 25 years old versus 31 years old. To give me a first-round pick for it, I'll take it. We bring Will Barton to the team. He'll be like a backup small forward or something. No big deal. He can spend his last season here, and then we'll let him walk in free agency. Colin Sexton goes up by 2. Chris Duarte went up by 8. Have I ever seen that before? Oh, you know what it is? You're going to see other players in the league going up because the person that created this start today started this in the beginning of 2K, which means the first day of the season, right? He started this the first day of the season. So he's been trying to like change overalls as 2K's changing overalls. So you can see Miles Bridges went up because at the beginning of the season, Miles Bridges was like maybe a 72, 78. And then now you add the +7, so that's why he went up by so much. I was about to say, that is not 1 year of progression. We're not a playoff team by any means. Oh my God, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot is not starting. We're not a playoff team by any means, but we're a team that should be growing together. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right? And you're probably asking what we're doing with Malcolm Brogdon. He's here to stay for at least this season, and we'll just let it ride. This is our team. We probably will be another really bad year, but it's all about progression, about growth. Hey, we ended up being the 10th seed, so I mean, progression. We had the Rookie of the Year too, so that's great. We weren't looking to get a high draft pick again. We just wanted to continue to do our thing, and our thing is making them play in, which is dope. I did not make a trade getting rid of Kevin Love or all those other dudes, Will Barton or Dwight Powell, because I threw them in the trade finder trying to find some teams. But you think about Kevin Love's contract, there was no team out there that really wanted to pay a guy that's a $28 million. That made sense. So we keep it moving. We are the 10th seed. And we're going against the 76ers. Ben Simmons is down to an 82 overall. Okay. And we win. Right? Then we win or do we lose? Oh, okay. We won and then we lost. Oh, we were the 10th seed, so we had to win 2 to get in. So we're in the lottery. Woo! I take that too. You know what I'm saying? It's nice for our guys to get some experience. Anthony Edwards ends up winning Finals MVP. It's nice for our guys to get some experience. But ultimately, we're back here in the lottery. Oh, we got somebody's pick that's also there. We got that Portland pick is not lottery protected anymore because it was lottery protected last year and it conveyed to the 6th, 7th overall pick. So now we got the 4th overall pick. W. I think that's an absolute win. We got 4, we got 13, we got 18. I mean, I got to take a look around the league and see what we could potentially do. We got Malcolm Brogdon's contract and 3 first-round picks. I got to see what we could potentially do. The Kings are selling. They have De'Aaron Fox, and if they're selling, they're looking for draft equity. So I'm going to go ahead and try to talk to the Kings about De'Aaron Fox being our point guard for the now and the future, 25 years old. And then he's making 32. I would also give you TJ McConnell in this trade because we're not using him. He wasn't even in a rotation. And then we'll give you pick number 18. And then we'll also give you pick number 13. Cool. We throw 2 picks. We throw Malcolm Brogdon. We get De'Aaron Fox to come here. Actually, let me just make my boy a small forward so we can stop looking at that. So our starting lineup is going to look pretty decent now. The De'Aaron's here at 25 years old. And then we also have a pick. I did not load in a 2023 draft class because I have not found one that doesn't have players that are 99 overalls. You feel me? So this is an auto-generated class that I didn't do any scouting in. So my apologies if we don't pick the right dude. But they did some scouting for me. Oh, okay. So we're good. This guy's got A+ athleticism. I got to go with Everett Toscano, the center out of Turkey. We're going with Everett Toscano. I thought about it for some time, and it just makes more sense. I think he's got the higher potential and everything, so we'll make that trade happen. And then we got this guy who looks like he might be the best player available. Oh, multi-positional defender. We'll take that 100% of the time. Okay, this is a good year. This is a good year of progression. A very, very good year of progression. Everybody's getting better. We're the young team. We were the 10th seed last season. Hopefully we can actually crack the real life playoffs this season. That is the goal, to progressively get better. And then hopefully next year, once we got our guy who's playing over in Turkey, hopefully he develop it like a beast over there, and he can come in and you know, help us out immediately. 90 overall club is on the horizon for Chet Holmgren if everything goes great. Point guards look good. We brought back Kobe White on a 3-year, $41 million, which is pretty good if you ask me. Tatum won MVP. All right, Ben Simmons is now a 6 man. Anthony Davis. We were the 3 seed, y'all. Again, I'm not expecting this to be a championship season. I think we're far away from a championship, but I do think that we are progressing in the right way. We are a team where like our average age is like what, 23 years old, and we're already the 3 seed. He's 80 overall already. Chet Holmgren up to an 86, and that's just with in-season progression. Imagine at the end of the year, after free agency and stuff, he's a 2-way skilled stretch 5. That's an amazing name. If I could create a build with that name, we'd be decent. And when I say we, I mean my Pro-Am team. We're going against the Detroit Pistons in the first round. Kay Cunningham, Chris Middleton is back in D-Town. All right, that's funny. Let's see if they can beat us, though. We win game 1, lose game 2, lose game 3, lose game 4, win game 5. We lose in the first round. Again, I didn't expect this to be a championship team. That's why I'm not even tripping. And they went on to win a championship. So, like, is it really that bad? We just saw Jalen Green and Kay Cunningham play against each other in the finals. Peep that. Former number 1 and former number 2 overall pick. So here's progression. Our dude only jumped up by 1, which I expected since he was overseas. He was going to get really good. And the other guy that we didn't draft only jumped up 1 too. So, you know, it's a good competition, and neither of them are doing anything. But now we're going to let Chet Holmgren run the 4, I guess. Are we a championship team if Chet Holmgren is at the 4? Or do we just, no. This guy's not good enough to take Patrick Williams' spot, who's up to an 85, by the way. We have a really good, well-rounded team, in my personal opinion. We're going to go out and run a 10-man rotation again. And look at that. We got this guy coming off the bench, our former number 4 overall pick in his rookie season. We still got Mo Wagner. And then we got Terrence Mann, who we picked up for the mid-level exception. So we're looking good. I feel confident. Chris Duarte, what is your contract like again, my boy? $5 million, the last year of his deal. I will say we might be a piece away. And I'm not against making a big-time trade at the deadline. I'm just saying, if we're good and I feel like we're a piece away, I will let it fly. You know what I'm saying? You don't build this amount of assets and this amount of young equity, as we use that word for the millionth time today, not to use it later in the video. We're the 1 seed. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not that much. Yeah, we're a half game better than the Pistons, who won the championship last year. We want to see y'all later in the playoffs. Duarte's averaging 14, which is good. 17 from Kobe off the bench, which is great. He is in a 6-man of the year candidacy, if you ask me. The rookie's averaging good numbers for a rookie. But I think that we go out there and see who's selling. I see a rebuilding team that has a non-untouchable star, and that is this guy here. Now, the likelihood that we're able to pull off this trade is close to 0, but I'm willing to give it a try for sure. Okay. What do we have? We have Chris Duarte, and we still got to make up $6 million. Terrence Mann, financially this makes sense. You give us back Sterling Brown, Chicago's very own. Do we still have picks? We have a Suns pick that is extremely valuable. Hold on, the Suns are the Suns the worst team in the league? The Suns might be the worst team in the league, y'all. They're very close to it. Okay, we got a trade here. With that trade, with that pick being as valuable as it looks, we might be able to pick up the Zion trade. Now, we are giving up some depth for sure. Patrick Williams, who else was it? It was Terrence Mann, and I think it was Chris, right? Yeah, it was Chris. And then they were giving us back Sterling Brown. They were saying no to this, and then we give them that Suns pick. Boom. Blockbuster, blockbuster, blockbuster. Jaden Ivey at 6'4" is going to play the small forward position for us, which I don't love. But we could go out there and continue to make more trades to get our depth back. Go to another team that's selling and potentially, you know, snag some bench players. Okay, I added a few players to my list of players that we can target that are cheap players that can help us out this season. Basically, we need to be able to trade for them using these bottom players and like a pick or two. So I think the Clippers were a team. Yeah, so they have like Keon Johnson, who's a 6'4". You know what? No, forget that. We're going right to the Magic, who have Poku. And that Poku's not making no money. We'll give you Sterling Brown. They want an unprotected pick from Dallas. That pick looks super valuable. And instead, I'd rather give you our own pick if just in case, because I know we're going to be... Okay, that pick has no value. But we got seconds. You know what? Deal. Poku, welcome to the starting lineup of this team. Welcome to this... Poku, welcome to the starting lineup, my boy. Yeah, we're running the 9-man rotation for the rest of the season. I think this is a championship team. Zion, De'Aaron, everybody else, Chet Holmgren. Let's go win this championship, y'all. Kevin Durant wins another MVP, and he is 36, by the way, so he is really killing the game. Here are the rest of the awards. James Harden's a 6th man. Jonathan Kuminga's most improved player. I legit feel like I've been recording for decades. Hopefully, this is our championship season so we can get out of here. Here's all NBA teams. I'm wondering if we're going to have anybody. We do not. It's okay. Indy don't get no love. We ended up being the 1 seed. I think we were the 1 seed at the deadline, and then we added Zion, so that helps. I think we're ready, man. We're ready for the leap, which is a championship. Now, the 2 seed is the Detroit Pistons. And the Detroit Pistons are a team that beat us last year. And they went on to win the championship. So I'm hoping that we get them in the conference finals, and we do. Revenge. Here's our revenge. Here's our revenge. All right, game 1 is a win for us. And we blew them out. Thank you, Zion. Game 2. They don't have a Zion stopper, do they? Oh, well, they stopped him. Well, he only took 8 shots for some reason, but it was the Colin Sexton show. Game 3, we win. Oh, we gonna sweep these boys? De'Aaron, thank you. Big game, De'Aaron. And then we sweep them. Chet Holmgren, Zion, Colin Sexton, Poku. Poku in the playoffs, 13 points per game. All right, let's go ahead and win this championship, man. We're going against the Rockets, and they have, of course, Jalen Green. They got Maxey. They got LeBron. Is that why they won the championship last season, or is LeBron piggybacking off another team's success? Here we go. Game 1 is a Pacer win. LeBron is still really good at age 40, by the way. But he had a well-rounded game, but we had star power, which is Colin Sexton. Game 2 is a win. Yeah. Game 3, win. Game 4, don't simcast. I don't need it. Game. Zion went from a team that was rebuilding to a team to win a championship. I mean, he played a big part in it, don't get me wrong. And James Harden and LeBron James both call it a career. LeBron, did you get the extra championship? No, he was not a part of that last year championship team. He was piggybacking. He was real life just trying to get added to the championship team. Okay, I want to see that pick that we traded away. Yeah, the 6th overall pick and then the 8th overall pick are what we traded away to get Poku and Zion, and we won a championship, so it don't matter. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, man. This took a very, very long time. In real life, it's going to take a lot longer for a team to rebuild. So it is what it is. Leave a like, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.